Hi guys, this is Zach from Watches on You, and today I'm going to be taking a look at the Rolex GMT Master II reference 116718LN. Now this watch is the solid gold GMT Master II. It's solid yellow gold, and it comes with a beautiful green dial and black bezel. So right away here I'm going to go over this watch's case. So the case on this timepiece is 40 millimeters in diameter. It's made out of solid 18 karat yellow gold, and you can see that there are a variety of polished and brushed edges, just like on the steel models as well. It's absolutely stunning in gold. I mean, this is a watch that's going to get noticed, and you can see it looks absolutely beautiful. You get the classic Rolex polishing on both sides, and then the pronounced crown guards. You also get this beautifully finished bracelet with this polished center link, and then the clasp as well, with the polishing going through the center of the clasp. Overall, this just feels extremely high quality. It's very heavy, which is due to the fact that it's gold, and the bracelet is very nice. I mean, Rolex's bracelets are fantastic. I'd say that they're the best in the business. And the gold just adds so much more weight to this, and it feels absolutely fantastic in the hand. Now, one thing I will say that is a disadvantage about gold, and I think anyone who's considering a gold watch should take it into consideration, is that gold is going to be, in general, a lot more, it will scratch a lot more than stainless steel. This is actually a pre-owned timepiece, and you can see that there are some micro scratches. It's actually in very good condition though for a gold watch, because gold is so much softer than steel. It will scratch a lot more. So that's one thing just to consider if you're considering purchasing a gold timepiece, and that's true with every gold timepiece you're going to look at. They're all going to be much less scratch resistant than a stainless steel watch. So now let's go to this beautiful dial. So this is the only GMT Master II with this beautiful green dial, and this watch just looks fantastic. I think it's so much more dramatic than the regular black dial solid gold. I think the green dial just makes this watch absolutely pop. Now, one thing that people might not like about the green dial, and I've heard, is that because the bezel's black, it doesn't match the dial, but the contrast to me, I think, looks very interesting, and I think it looks a lot more interesting than a lot of other Rolexes because of that. Now, would it have been nice if they offered you a green bezel option? I think that would have been cool, but this watch, just with the green and black bezel, personally, I think looks absolutely fantastic. And I like how the green's kind of money green, just because this watch is so expensive. It just kind of matches that kind of whole character of the timepiece. So now I'm going to talk a little bit. Now I'm going to actually talk a little bit about the GMT Function. So the GMT Function, if you're not, I'm sure many of you know how this works, but I'm just going to explain it for those that don't. There's a secondary hour hand with the big arrow at the end. That's your GMT hand. So that hand does not operate in typical 24 hours. Or in typical 12 hours. It operates in 24 hours. So each time it goes once around the dial, it's going to have gone 24 hours instead of 12. Now, the reason they do that is because it's for a second time zone, and the reason you'd want a 24-hour time zone is simply so you know AM or PM. Otherwise, there would be no way of knowing AM or PM based on what the watch is telling you. You might be able to memorize that, but I think it's just a lot more straightforward when it has it where it's just got 24 hours so you know if it's AM or PM. Now you may also notice the bezel here. So the bezel in this timepiece clicks at every hour, which is every half hour if you're looking at 12-hour time, but every hour for 24-hour, which is what the GMT hand runs in. You can see it goes from 0 to 24. Ends at 22 is the last number it says, but then the kind of arrow at the top, that's going to be at 24 hours. So by able to click it every hour, you can actually be able to track up to 2 extra time zones on this timepiece, so 3 in total. You can have the regular hour and minute hand being tracked, and then you can also have the GMT hand being tracked. But then if you also rotate the bezel, you can make the GMT hand change its relation to the dial if you look at the GMT bezel and depending on where you turn it, so you can then see you have another time zone on there. So like here, the GMT hand, if you're just looking at the dial and not the bezel, the GMT hand is going to be just after 12 o'clock. But if you look at the bezel here, now it's almost 20. So it's almost 20 in 24-hour time. So that way you can actually have 2 time zones going in there, and that's how that would work. And you can set it to any time zone you'd want, because it has the option of making it be able to set at every hour throughout the day. So the GMT function is a very useful function, and Rolex actually brought around the original GMT Masters for Pan Am pilots, because Pan Am wanted some watches for their pilots so that they would be able to track multiple time zones, just making it easier for them when they're flying to different countries or through just different time zones. So that's how the GMT Master arose as a whole, and this is the current iteration of it, which has gained some beefiness in the case, which some people aren't fans of. The lugs are quite a bit thicker than the pre-ceramic ones, but it does feel a lot beefier and much more solid in real when you handle the ceramic ones. And the bezel is a ceramic insert and gold on the outside. So now let's put this watch on the wrist. So on the wrist, this watch is absolutely gigantic with regards to weight. It is extremely heavy. The bracelet being solid gold as well as the case makes this watch absolutely just hugely heavy. I mean, it's unbelievable how heavy this feels on the wrist. That's one thing about the gold watches. If you get a gold watch without a gold bracelet, it's going to be a lot lighter, but when you wear this thing on the bracelet, it's so heavy. And the one thing about this watch, and as you can tell when I put it on my wrist here, is it will be very noticeable when you wear this. If you like to be an understated, humble person, this is definitely not the timepiece for you. This is going to be loud. You're going to get questions. You're going to get people coming up and complimenting you on it. I mean, this you will notice from across the room. It is unbelievably loud in that sense, just because the gold pops so much under the light, and even that green dial adds to that. It will just grab anyone's attention that looks at it. So that's one thing to consider about this timepiece. And yet there are situations where you would want a watch like this, but then some people, I would say if you're going to a high-end business meeting, a stressful business meeting, I don't know if this would be, depending on the image you want to portray, this might not be the greatest choice. So it really depends on kind of what you would like for a watch. If you're looking for a loud timepiece, this is definitely one of the best ones out there, and I'd say Rolex in general would be the best watchmaker for a loud timepiece. So this watch was provided to us by JB Hudson Jewelers for the purpose of this review. You can contact them if you would like to inquire about this timepiece. I will be leaving a link in the description to their website. I will also be leaving a link in the description to our channel Amazon store, where you can find some of our favorite watch accessories and tools on there, and they're all just Amazon items, so that just gives us a little bit of commission whenever you purchase on that store, so it helps out the channel a bit, but the prices will be the same as the regular Amazon price. So thank you guys again for watching. Remember to like, subscribe, and share, and when you subscribe, make sure to hit that notification button so you receive notifications whenever we post a video. Thank you.